You ever feel like life keeps giving you the same lesson over and over again? Almost like you're stuck in a loop, no matter how much you've healed? Well, there's a sacred reason for that. And if you've ever gone through this or are currently going through this video is for you. So let's get into it. So when we have these deep limited beliefs, these subconscious or unconscious patterns, these patterns from unhealed childhood wounds, ancestral wounds, even past life wounds, it almost feels like no matter what you do, it keeps coming up for you over and over again. And it can get really frustrating on a journey, especially if you're like, I am doing the work. I don't understand why this keeps kind of happening to me. And it's hard not to kind of go into the victim mentality or victim mode when we have this kind of come up time and time again. I'll share a story with you. For me, I had feelings of self-worth keep showing up, and it is still showing up for me. You know, I like to be transparent with you all and be vulnerable and let you know that that is still very real for me. I feel like no matter how much I try to tackle these childhood wounds that I have when it comes in regards to worthiness, it's like it still just decides to show itself up and basically, you know, like throw up in your face. And I find it really interesting because it always seems to follow. There's always a pattern to it. Do you notice, like, if you're ever kind of going through something, that there almost seems to be a pattern that kind of follows up to where the unworthiness kind of comes in. And what I mean by that is that I will feel so much in my power. I will feel so not invincible. That's not the word I'm trying to go through, but you know, just being a really powerful co-creator, somebody who knows who they truly are. And I live through love and through presence and everything. I'm in harmony, like I've discussed in previous video, right? I'm in harmony and everything is kind of flowing for me and into my life. And then all of a sudden, I get smacked back down by the universe or higher power, God, whatever you believe in, get smacked back down and humbled a little bit. And these deep rooted feelings of unworthiness come up for me. And it's almost like maybe I shouldn't have felt that way. Maybe I should have known my place and to been the quiet child in the corner who was seen but not heard, right? Who there's Victoria, she's the good girl, she's doing what she's told, and you know, she's not standing in her power, and she listens to us, and she does everything that she needs to do. And you feel like, well, maybe I'm not good enough to go through this anymore. Maybe I'm not good enough to be in this energy anymore and be a powerful co-creator. And we need to start kind of breaking out of these cycles. So maybe it's not worthiness for you, but maybe it's something else that you could identify a little bit in my story that you go through, that you've experienced, right? Where you're kind of like on a high and then life kind of comes in and knocks you back down a few pegs, right? And sometimes I wonder, especially in shamanism, it's almost like okay, how are we going to go about it this time? How are we going to respond to this stimuli that we've came in and knocked you down with? Are we going to react? Are we going to act out? Are we going to go down into these lower vibrational feelings of, right, of feeling worthless, of knowing you're not good enough, having low self-esteem, having no confidence? And so you can't go and produce your dreams, so you don't fully live in your power, so people, can tell you where to go and how to be and where to be in place, right? And in life, we have to look at this as without following story, because we are not our stories. We are a human experiencing this 3D reality right now. And that sometimes is how life in the universe kind of comes in. And it's almost like a test in a way, right? Of how we are going to react, how we're going to respond, and how we're going to be about the situation. Because I'm going to tell you something, and I've brought this up in a video before, where I was in Sedona and continued to being triggered, where I was letting other people's energy determine my worth, to determine how I feel, to determine that I needed to walk on eggshells, that I needed to act in accordance to how they wanted me to act. And realizing is that that's their stuff, but what about my stuff? How am I going to now respond to that? First of all, giving no reaction or response at all. You should not be walking on eggshells for anybody. And realizing that we still have that power within us and that we know what to do. And, it's like, I hear you, but like, how do I kind of break that cycle? And we really need to begin to really feel ourselves in our body again. We need to have a body connection, because a lot of times these things can come in and knock us off kilter, and then we start disassociating. We are no longer really a part of our body anymore, and we need to become centered in our body again, right? So what does that kind of look like? We can do that by taking, deep breath in and letting it all go. And then we can start feeling more in our body again. And we can do some EFT tapping. That's another really cool one. And you can look into that as well. We can do some grounding techniques. There's somatic breathwork / yoga that you can look into. There's a few ways that, what is it for you to help you kind of feel in your body again, right? And start doing those daily to integrate more of a connection with yourself. Because when you have a deep connection with yourself, nothing can throw you off anymore, right? Because when you truly trust yourself and you love yourself, we can truly not have these situations bother us. And when those patterns and those loops kind of come back in to test us, we can then say, you know what? This time, no, thank you. I know who I am. I love myself. And I'm here right now in the present moment. And I'm not going to react to what is happening on the outside of me, right? And we just need to have this radical honesty with ourselves, meet ourselves where we're at. It's okay if you react. Like I said, I reacted. It's part of life. It's part of being who you are, and knowing that we're just a human here. Well, we're in a human vessel experiencing this 3D reality here on Earth. There's going to be things that come in and try to piss you off, make you angry, and throw you off. That's just the way it is. But we cannot begin to spiritually bypass all this and say, oh, well, and whatever. We need to deal with it, recognize it for what it is, have honesty with ourselves, and move through it without connecting to story, without connecting to who we used to be and what could happen if I am this way going forward, right? We need to be right here, right now, in this time and in this space. And sometimes just a simple visiting a shamanic healer, visiting a shamanic practitioner can be extremely transformational and powerful. Mainly because the shaman sees you where you're at and is able to have you help you through this transformation. Because you see, you're not broken. You're whole as you are right now. You're just having these things come up just to see where you're at on your path and whether or not you're going to be honest with yourself, take responsibility, and move on from it without attaching to it. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you everybody for subscribing, for liking, and for commenting. You know how much I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm working on big things. I'm really excited. Stay tuned because I'm really excited to be launching these really beautiful manifestations into my life. And I'm having a lot of really beautiful things come in, and I'm really grateful for everything that is manifesting into my life and the reality that I'm co-creating. It's so, so beautiful. I'll see you in the next one.